Fiancée used my childhood trauma to win a video game. Plus mini update. I don't even know how to type this or explain my thoughts right now, so I apologize if I seem scattered. I, 31 male, have been engaged to my fiancée Emily, 29 female, for the past 3 months. We've been together for 2 years. She has been the only relationship where I felt safe enough to open up and discuss my past trauma. Many nights I have cried into her arms, and she has been there to comfort me. She goes to therapy with me and has been a rock in our relationship. I have been getting much better since I really opened up about it, and have been able to live a better and more liberating life over the past 2 years, until last Saturday. Emily is ultra competitive, not just in sports, but in life. She will do whatever it takes to win and be number one. She has lost friendships, family relationships, jobs, and money. She understands this and has been trying to get better by going to therapy, stating she doesn't know why she is like this. She seemed to cool down over the summer, but she is still very competitive. Even her parents have no idea why she is this way, because they were not athletes and have never pushed her to be number one. Her siblings are also confused about when this all started. I was a former college athlete, and yes, I am competitive, but not so much anymore. Recently, my friend group started a monthly game night. I was on a 4-month win streak. We played board games, old video games, painting, basketball, and even football. It's all in good fun, but last month Emily was so angry she didn't win that she walked home and didn't want to talk to me for at least 2 days. Before we left for game night, I asked her to please have fun and that it doesn't matter who wins. She promised she would try. As game night came to an end, Emily and I were tied with one more event. The rules are that if it's a man versus woman match, the lady chooses the final game. She selected N64 Mario Kart. I'm the king of that game. I never lose. I asked her if she really wanted to do that, and she called me a chicken while big talking about how she would beat me at my own game. I should have backed off, but I caved and we raced. Now, common knowledge is let her win, and trust me, I thought about it. But she gets really angry if she thinks you let her win. Her attitude is way worse then. As we started racing, it was a tight match. She kept hitting the banana peels, but she kept catching up. On the last lap, she started trying to distract me by saying he snores when he sleeps, using basic middle school insults. Then she tried bumping me to distract me, but I was locked in and focused. I responded back, at least I don't keep hitting the bananas, love. Very simple and fun. We were in the final leg of the race, and that's when she snapped, at least I didn't get SA'd by my own family. I froze up, dropped the controller, and she passed me and won. She was jumping up and down with joy, screaming and dancing that she finally won. From what my friends told me later, she kept that up for a good while until she saw my face, and that's when she stopped. My friends were in complete shock, asking me if that was true. I couldn't speak, I couldn't breathe, and I was fighting back all the inner demons swirling in my head. I simply got up, wished them a good night, and started walking. I was in a trance. I didn't even know where I was walking to. Emily tried calling and texting, asking where I was, begging me to call and come home. She kept saying she's sorry, just wanted to win so badly, and doesn't know why she said that. I told her to please stop calling me. I needed space. I don't know what to do. I love this girl and trusted her, but she used that trust to win a freaking video game. My friends are now asking me about my past and won't leave me alone. I guess all I'm asking is there any way back from this, or is this the end? Do I dump her or try to work this out? Any advice would be very helpful. Now for the top comments before the mini update. I'm sorry, but I really don't see how this relationship can survive. She not only used the one thing that you trusted her with, but she also used your pain and trauma to win a goddamn video game, and in front of other people who were clueless about your past. I don't think there is anything a person could do to get past that level of disrespect and complete lack of decency. I'm so sorry for your past and what you went through. Is there any friend you feel comfortable enough to talk to? Are you seeing a therapist? Heck, even keep talking to people on here if you think it would help. Please don't shut out your friends, and please don't shut down. Lean on your friends or whoever you feel comfortable around. Final thought, F that evil witch. I'm glad you emphasized on avoiding shutting out his friends. They can be real help when you will need it the most, if their intentions are good by asking you about it. Lean on whoever you're comfortable with, and time to start all over again. It is never too late. You got this. And yes, F that evil witch. You deserve better. I really hope he listens. He deserves so much better, and I hope his friends keep trying to reach him. My heart breaks for him. There is no way back from this. You will never, ever feel safe with her again, and you will never trust her again, and you shouldn't. Just tell her you hope winning a stupid game was worth losing your relationship, and that if she's smart, she'll stay single until she figures out and fixes whatever the heck is wrong with her. Yeah, she needs a lot more therapy if she had the gut instinct to do that. It's cruel, and I can't imagine hurting someone I love so badly over something so stupid like Mario Kart. Wow. Some things, when broken, take years to fix, and one of those things is trust. This will be on your mind, OP, as you say your vows. She has tainted a relationship. This won't just go away. Edit. I want to thank everyone for their comments and DMs. I've been reading all of them for the past 3 hours. I guess I knew this was the end of this relationship, but after spending 2 years with someone, having strong feelings, and trusting them, I wanted to see if a majority of people could see something else that I didn't, something that could save it. After reading the comments, I guess I overlooked the massive red flags that Emily had. I decided to sit down with my friend group tonight and tell them about my past. It will be difficult, but I will also text Emily tonight and meet with her tomorrow. Next story. My wife of 10 years divorced me for cheating on her, emptied out the house, and went out of her way to make my life a living hell. Except I never cheated. My wife and I were together for 10 years, and throughout our entire relationship, she always suspected me of cheating on her. The first time she accused me of cheating, about 2 years into the relationship. I was so upset that she could think I was capable of something like this that I started crying on the spot. But I work in a career field where cheating is rampant, and I travel a lot for work, so I understood where the insecurity might come from. I always believed that if I demonstrated myself as a loyal and faithful husband, she would eventually realize that this belief was misplaced. But instead, it seemed to get worse over the years. These conversations and accusations would always lead to fights and became more and more frequent over time. About 2 years ago, she became even more convinced and would say things like, "I know you're cheating on me, and it has been really difficult for me to come to terms with it and forgive you." Everyday activities became proof of my infidelity. If I worked late, it was because I was actually out meeting my affair partner. If I woke up early to go for a run, I was actually meeting her for a 6 a.m. quickie. When my motorcycle was vandalized, it was a jilted ex-lover. I demanded that we go to couples counseling, and she refused, saying, "Why should I have to go to counseling? You're the one that's doing it." She gave examples, such as the fact that I masturbate 3 to 5 times per week, as evidence that I was addicted to sex, and suggested that I join a Sexaholics Anonymous group. About 6 months ago, I was away on a work trip, and she texted me, "I finally found a proof that you're cheating on me like I had always suspected," and emailed me divorce paperwork. I was dumbfounded and asked her to tell me what proof she was referring to, but she replied, "It's not my job to share that with you. It's your job to prove to me that you're not cheating." I immediately came home to find that she had already moved out and taken everything in the house with her. She had a portrait of ourselves commissioned, and she had left it behind with her face cut out of it and "cheater" scrawled across my face. Over the next few weeks, she contacted all my friends, family, and coworkers to tell them that I had been cheating on her for years and that she was finally leaving me after no longer being able to deal with it. I lost a lot of friends who took her at her word and had to have so many uncomfortable conversations with others. Among those who decided not to cut me out of their lives, I have no idea who even believes me. I had to sit down with HR at work because my coworkers had filed complaints about being harassed by my ex. I had to dip into my retirement savings to pay for a divorce lawyer and replace everything in the house that had been taken. If she had simply decided to leave me, I would have been heartbroken but would have accepted it. Heck, if she was cheating on me, I would have been more upset, but could have come to terms with it. But I feel like such a victim, if that's the right word. I did my best to be a good husband and demonstrate to her that I was loyal, only to still be punished for something that never happened. I feel so stupid for failing to notice how serious these accusations were, for thinking that ignoring them would make them go away. And somehow, I also blame myself for not insisting that we address this issue years ago when it might have still been salvageable. My entire life was destroyed over nothing. So for defamation, she's publicly accusing you and affecting your career and social life by making accusations directly to friends, family, workplace, and I'm assuming online as well. Sounds like defamation to me. OP, your lawyer really needs to make this happen. She stole from you by taking everything in the house and is intentionally affecting your job. Your marriage is over. Your wife went nuclear. Time to make sure she pays for the cleanup. There's no coming back from any of this. Even if she begs, you will find a partner who values and trusts you like your ex never did. But you need to go on the offensive to make sure she pays for what she's done. You should have divorced her 10 years ago after the first incident. It sounds like your relationship was built on a lack of trust instead of the other way around. I'm sorry you went through that. Hopefully you can move forward in peace. Also, would love to know what job is rampant with cheating. Pilot or flight attendant was my first guess. Maybe he's a baker that lures women in with his sweet treats and breads. Lol. She was cheating. Took the coward's way out of the marriage. Although just speculation. Yep. I had an ex who always talked about me cheating and suspected me of cheating even though I was tied to her at the hip. I always told her that she'd be the one to cheat. Guess who ended up cheating? Hint, not me. Last story. I think I just torched my marriage by withdrawing consent to implant our very last embryo. F you, F you, F you. You're an F-head. I effing hate you. These are the words that came out of my wife's mouth today as we were walking our son home from daycare. We're both professionals in our 40s, yet in that moment, you wouldn't have guessed. We were having an argument over my perception that she was pandering to our son's tantrums and not enforcing boundaries. And then that happened. It was on a street in public, and I was holding my son's hand. I asked her quietly several times not to speak to me that way, especially in front of our son, and she just kept repeating herself. I'm in my car now, numb, typing this out. She's definitely had a rough go of it lately. She just learned that her umpteenth, I've lost count, round of IVF has failed, and is also dealing with all the excess hormones she's been injecting herself with. She's been passed up for a promotion at work and didn't get another job at a different company. She has one of the top jobs in the country in her field, but she's a high achiever. After the birth of our son, she went through horrible PPD and lost her fitness after having qualified for and competing in the World Championships for her sport. I'm not denying she has many valid reasons to feel upset. God knows I'm not perfect and probably contribute to her unhappiness at times. But her reactions to her feelings are getting more and more unhinged. She's thrown our boy, as a baby, down on a couch in frustration. She's lashed out and told me she finds me unattractive after I lost fitness during the pandemic following the birth of our son. I still hit the gym 2 to 3 times a week, ran weekly 5Ks, cycled up 200 kilometers at a time, and fit into medium t-shirts, though I no longer had visible abs. She road raged at another woman, even following her to her exit after a submerged dispute. And now this pure and adulterated vitriol. It breaks my heart that my son got to see it. His little sponge of a brain has absorbed something today, something I'm hoping to dear God doesn't become some dormant memory that manifests itself in a couple of decades, when it's his turn to have a serious partner. I've just withdrawn my consent for the transfer of our last remaining embryo. We've spent damn near $100,000 trying, but I can't bring another kid into this. She will lash out again. She'll try apologizing. She might love mommy, but I'd never forgive myself if something happened to this kid. She's proven herself to be both physically and verbally abusive. But the last thing she'll do after all these fails is resent me, then leave me. Now for the comments. Just read your post history. How was she before you had kids? How was your communication? I moved halfway across the world to marry her. She was wonderful. Communication was open, honest, and supportive. PPD changed everything, and she never really bounced back. Was the PPD ever properly treated? Is it possible that the depression is still there or has been triggered again? It doesn't excuse her behavior, but I know my depression/anxiety manifests as rage. Usually, I'm able to recognize it and realize I need to talk to my psychiatrist about my medication, but that's only after a couple of blow-ups. Sounds like she's going through a lot and needs help, so she stops taking it out on you and her son. As someone who has suffered from hormone-induced/increased depression and anxiety, sometimes manifesting as rage in the form of PMDD, it sounds as if the hormones your wife has been taking as part of the IVF could be aggravating her already questionable mental health. Just an aside to give you an indication of what my hormonal hell is like. When my PMDD gets bad, I turn to an irrational raging bee. It's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I can see myself acting that way, but I snap so quickly that I had no time to control it. Hormones can seriously mess with our mental health, something that isn't studied enough. I have said awful things that I didn't mean just to upset others. I have rage quit jobs, ended relationships, and dealt with suicidal ideation. It's scary to feel out of control, and that just increases the anxiety, which increases the depression, and so on. Now that you've withdrawn consent, will she stop using the hormones? That may be the first step in a series of getting her balanced back out. Has she continued to take the medication prescribed after her PPD diagnosis? Did it seem to help while she was taking it? It seems like she would benefit from taking an antidepressant. Zoloft has literally saved my life. Would she be receptive to discussing all of this after she calms herself? I truly hope for the best outcome for all of you, whatever that may look like at this point. I'm so sorry you've been struggling with this, and I'm sorry that she doesn't appear to be self-aware enough to know what damage she is doing to you, your son, and your relationship. I hope she will get the help she desperately needs. The hormones are absolutely a thing. She's on 3 times the dose she was when we successfully conceived our first, also through IVF. She's reached out to her doc already regarding stopping the meds, and she's agreed to therapy. So I'll take those small wins and go from there. Thanks for sharing. Edit. I'm blown away by the responses and messages, both supportive and critical. I'm sorry I can't go through and respond to every single one, but I do read them. Thank you in particular to the women who have gone through PPD/IVF/both, who have reached out, and to those who grew up in abusive households. Your comments and stories are eye-opening. She's agreed to couples and individual therapy. Therapists are mandatory reporters here, so I will be following their advice regarding next steps. I appreciate the comments telling me to get out. If a trained professional has safety concerns and comes to that same conclusion, I will. But I also know my wife of the last 3 years is not the same person I fell in love with over a decade ago, and I owe it to our family to see if that person still exists.